Seiji Aino is a normal high school boy, until a girl named Guri who calls herself a devil arrives with a kiss note. She tells him that if someone's name is written on the notebook, they have to kiss someone or Guri will die. He kicks Guri out and she begs for his help. He kisses her, but an unfazed Guri demonstrates the power of the notebook by making two politicians kiss on TV. She reveals that she needs to write someone else's name next to his and he must kiss the person in 24 hours or he will remain a virgin forever. They go to school to scout a target and find Seiji's crush Akane. Since Guri is a devil, nobody is supposed to see her, but Akane can clearly see her. Akane becomes disturbed when she hears he kissed Guri and she attacks him with a knife. Seiji retreats with Guri, but they are tracked down by Akane. Akane tries to attack Guri, but the devil writes their names just in time and Seiji and Akane kiss. Guri then reveals she is actually a cupid and not a devil. She then writes Seiji's name in the notebook and kisses him. Akane attacks him out of jealousy, and since they have Guri's blessing they can't die. Guri stays with Seiji's family by hypnotizing his parents, and Seiji is horrified when his cat becomes possessed by another angel named Corley. The next day at school, Corley explains that now they have become angels they have to work or they will go to hell and lose their souls. As temporary cupids they need to use the notebook, but it gets stolen by Yuzu, who is Akane's little half-sister after she sees Seiji and Guri kissing. Yuzu has telekinetic powers and she feels like the book is manipulating Akane. She loves Akane who won't accept her, so Guri writes her name in the book, but Seiji and Yuzu accidentally end up kissing instead. Because she is obsessed with her sister, Yuzu goes through Akane's trash and stalks her every day. Meanwhile, Akane meets Akua who is Seiji's younger sister and accidentally almost stabs her. At school, Guri and Yuzu have been writing couples into the kiss note as Seiji asked them to. And they also discuss the topic of love which Guri learned from human media. They also find a love poem written by one of their teachers, Mr. Kusanok, who has a crush on their classmate Mary and is completely hopeless around her. They come up with strategies to bring the two together, although it is clear that Mary doesn't seem interested in Mr. Kusanok. Seiji discovers that she feels like he is more family than a potential lover. Guri decides to dress up as a criminal and take Mary hostage, but they are suddenly kidnapped by real bank robbers. They try to persuade Mr. Kusanok to intervene, but one of the bank robbers loses his nerve and Seiji protects Yuzu from a bullet. Their teacher decides to intervene, but he is too weak. And when Akane arrives and hears that Seiji was grazed by a bullet, she easily defeats the criminals. Meanwhile, Mr. Kusanok confesses to Mary and she tells him to wait for her to finish school first. Akua and Seiji used to have a close friendship as children, but when Guri officially meets Akua she is surprised with how cold Seiji's sister is to him. Guri introduces Yuzu to Akua as her brother's second girlfriend so that Yuzu and Akua can bond over their mutual hatred of Seiji. But when Akua defends her brother they are surprised to see a shadowy creature named Stolas chase Akua. Yuzu reports the presence of the demon to Seiji who runs to Akua. Meanwhile, Guri has caught up to Akua and finds that the demon Stolas is a penguin and she is quickly defeated by him. The penguin wants Akua as his mate and Seiji arrives to save her while the penguin is arrested. Later Guri asks Seiji on a date so they can observe couples and they see a boy who seems to be going out with several girls at the same time. Seiji tries to help but gets beat up, and he and Guri watch as the girls beat up the guy. However, during the fight the kiss note accidentally gets destroyed, which breaks all the relationships in the book. Guri's friend Tiara arrives to give Guri a replacement kiss note and states that the kiss note doesn't force relationships, it just creates opportunity. Akane arrives to stab Seiji, but luckily Guri put them all on the kiss phone so they are immortal again. Guri and Seiji watch Yuzu seemingly go to another school, and they discover that Yuzu uses a body double to take her place in school while she stalks Akane. Guri follows Yuzu in her stalking, and she shows Yuzu her relationship score with her sister Akane is very bad. Akane arrives to tell Yuzu to stop stalking her, and Guri finds Akane and Seiji's score very scary. Crushed, Yuzu runs away but accidentally falls into the river and has to be saved by Seiji. She violently thanks him and discovers the river is very shallow. Yuzu declares Seiji her rival and is shocked that he stays kind to her. Akane arrives with an umbrella and Yuzu declares she will not give up her love, while Guri finds Yuzu and Seiji's relationship score surprisingly good. Later at school they are approached by Shikimi who asks for their help with love. However, Shikimi leads Seiji into a trap and starts torturing him. Shikimi is actually Akane and Yuzu's psychotic cousin who likes to make their lives miserable. Akane arrives in time to confront Shikimi, but she is defeated by her cousin and captured. Yuzu arrives to defend Akane and Seiji wonders why she hates her cousin so much. Meanwhile, Guri arrives in a shrimp costume, and Shikimi tries to trick Guri into writing her name in the kiss phone, but Guri tells her that the Cupid can tell that Shikimi has no love in her. Suddenly Shikimi gets a phone call and leaves after taunting them. However, the girls discover that Seiji has died from his injuries. In heaven, Seiji meets Corley who takes him to God who calls himself Guri's father. They watch as the girls try and fail to revive Seiji's body. God explains that Guri will be the new god, so he wants Seiji to teach her love. Meanwhile, Mao, the current leader of Hell, introduces himself and states he would like Seiji to fail so that Guri can work in Hell. God tells him good luck and sends him back into his body. Since it is summer break, they all decide to go to the beach, but Akua just wants to be left alone. Guri is excited to see all the couples at the beach. The girls play volleyball while Seiji discovers Shikimi also on the beach in disguise. Shikimi tells him that Akana and Yuzu's families hate each other, but will tell him the whole story later. Stolas arrives to harass Akua, but she is defended by Akane. Akana fights the penguin and manages to drive him off. Later they go on a test of courage with a couple and explore the school at night, but they find that there really are ghosts in the school. After they are teleported to the roof, Akana and Guri have a heart, but Guri doesn't really know what love is, and the group discover the couple were also ghosts, who thank them and leave. After speaking with Akana on the roof, Guri wants to learn what love is. Guri wants to go to a summer festival but is refused by Seiji, so she decides to go into the city alone. There she meets a boy who takes her out on a date. She has a good time, and at a cafe she talks about living with Seiji. The boy says he will be a better boyfriend than Seiji and takes her to the summer festival. And although she has a good time, when the boy tries to kiss her, Guri stops him because she would rather kiss and hold hands with Seiji. Guri runs into Seiji, who spends time with her at the summer festival, and Corley discovers that Mao was manipulating the boy behind the scenes. Later, Akane's mother Suo finds out her relationship with Akana from Shikimi, and she traps her daughter. Seiji fends off thugs from Akane's family with the help of Akua, and Akana remembers she fell in love with Seiji after he called her kind. Meanwhile, Shikimi taunts Seiji and tells him to go save Akana from her mom. Guri and Yuzu arrive to get Akana back, but their disguises fail and they don't look very threatening. Akana arrives to fight them off silently, and they wonder what happened to her. Seiji and Akua arrive at the compound, but Shikimi turns on Seiji and captures him to torture him in front of Akana and Suo. Akana is ordered by Suo to prove her loyalty and kill Seiji, but she can't do it and confesses her love for him. Before Suo can punish her, Yuzu's mother Ameisha arrives and the two mothers start fighting. Akana and Yuzu reveal that their mothers hate each other because they fell in love with the same man, who was their father, and the two mothers tried to train their daughters to hate each other, but they failed. Guri appeals to the mothers and they calm down. Guri tells Akana that her mother seems to love her very much, and a reluctant Suo lets them go. At school, they are horrified to see Shikimi has transferred into their class. Shikimi tells them she was sent by Suo and Ameisha to keep an eye on them, and she becomes popular throughout the school. Shikimi at their school is stressing Akana out, so they come up with a plan to get Shikimi to leave them alone that relies on Guri and Akana getting along with one another. Meanwhile, Yuzu finds herself falling in love with Seiji. The class has a cultural festival where the girls play different roles in the play. At the play, Yuzu admits that she liked kissing Seiji, and Akana comforts her because they are sisters first, and she does not consider Yuzu a rival for Seiji. And because she has to get along with Guri, Akana reluctantly kisses the Cupid. The audience all cheer for the play. And that night, Akana tells Shikimi to stop messing with their relationships. Akua has left the house for the day, and she tells Seiji not to bring anyone over. After she leaves, Akana arrives to get the kiss Seiji promised her for getting along with Guri. Yuzu arrives to read with Guri, and then Shikimi forces herself into the house by picking the lock. They decide to cook dinner together and go shopping for ingredients. Akana is actually a great cook, but she purposefully gives Guri and Shikimi a terrible meal. And later that night, Seiji tries to take a bath, but he is continuously interrupted by the girls. After he finishes, Akana meets with Seiji and gently reminds him of his promise, and the two end up kissing. They decide to sleep over, and the girls go to another room where Yuzu is excited to sleep over with other girls for the first time. However, in the morning, all the girls end up with Seiji anyway, while Akua arrives to punish him. Since Akua is still acting cold to Seiji, Guri meets her in town to encourage her by buying cute clothes and food. However, they are found by Stolas and Akua has to run away. Corley finds her and defends her by taking his true form, but Stolas manages to get back up from the angel's attacks. A frightened Akua builds the courage to take on Stolas herself and not rely on others, and she defeats the penguin by drop-kicking him. They are found by Seiji, and Corley congratulates Akua for standing up for herself. Meanwhile, Shikimi approaches an uncertain Guri to talk to her. Later they find that Guri has gone missing and nobody seems to be able to find her. Yuzu is very concerned, but Akana is very happy that the Cupid is gone. Seiji feels sad with Guri's absence, and he finds Shikimi trying to manipulate Mary and Mr. Kusunoki's relationship at school. He tries to intervene but is cornered by Shikimi in the locker room, who taunts and kisses him while Guri looks on. Shikimi gave Guri the advice to stay away to test the feelings she has with Seiji, and she sadly watches the other girls with him. They find Guri, who asks why the group didn't look hard enough for her, and she asks Seiji if he cares about her. But an embarrassed Seiji can't admit that he enjoys having Guri around, and he calls her a pain. Hurt by his words, Guri is cocooned and emerges as a demon, the opposite of Cupid. A panicked Coralie tells them to intervene, and Yuzu tries to speak to her friend, but she is rebuffed by Guri. Mao arrives happy that Guri has fallen to become a demon, and Guri goes to work destroying relationships instead of creating them. Yuzu, who feels terrible for her friend Guri, appeals to Akana to help, but Akana refuses to care about the Cupid-turned-demon, and a disappointed Seiji and Yuzu leave her to rescue Guri. Coralie sends them to heaven to try to talk to Guri, so they die and meet God. He reveals that it is easier for Guri to fall because she is actually half demon, half angel, and that they must go to hell to see Guri. Meanwhile, Shikami is with Guri, and she helped Guri fall so that she could be turned into a demon herself, but Mao doesn't care about her. In the past, Guri's mother Mavro disappeared, so that Mao had to be the new prince of hell, and Mao sees much of Mavro in Guri. Yuzu and Seiji arrive disguised in hell, but Shikami reveals their disguises and they are chased by demon police. Before they are caught, however, Akana arrives to destroy the demon police, and she reveals that she died in the human world so that she could descend into hell, dying from shock thinking about someone else having a relationship with him. They find Guri, but she refuses to leave with them and coldly tells them to leave. Akana tries to knock sense into Guri, but it doesn't work, and Shikami tells her to destroy their relationships. Seiji sees a little of Guri left and tries to reach out to her, but Shikami intervenes and tells her that she is better off alone and that Guri should hate Seiji. Seiji asks her what Guri truly wants and he will help her, and a conflicted Guri falls while Seiji dives after her. Guri transforms back into an angel and she kisses Seiji, saying that she now understands what love is and she wants to love and be loved by another person. She tells Akana and Yuzu she loves them and appeals to Shikami to try using love instead of malice. And then Guri will add her to Seiji's harem. Seiji is happy that Guri is back to normal, and she tells him she will kiss him again when he loves her the same way as she does him. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.